Maria Roux, the Phantom Hitchhiker. You've most likely heard the story. A person is driving down a lonely road at night when they see a hitchhiker, often a young woman ahead. The woman is offered a ride and gets into the vehicle, usually the back seat. The hitchhiker never says a word and after traveling some distance vanishes without a trace. The story is a Halloween and campfire type ghost story that can be found seemingly everywhere around the world, with slight variations. The question is this: is there a real case of the Phantom Hitchhiker that may be the basis for the modern version of the legend? And the answer to that would seem to be yes. It was Good Friday in March of 1968, and Maria Roux and her fiancé were driving to her parents' home in Uniondale on the N9, about 200 miles from Cape Town, South Africa. The weather suddenly turned bad and fierce winds forced their car into a ditch. Her fiancé survived the crash. Maria, however, was killed instantly. It was certainly a tragic event, but one which occurs every day. What makes the story of Maria Roux unique among traffic fatalities is what has happened in the years after her death. Once a man named Anton LaGrange was driving on the N9 during Easter week of 1976, not far from the site of Maria Roux's fatal crash. It was late at night when he saw a figure standing on the side of the road. As he got closer, he could make out that it was a woman, apparently hitchhiking. LaGrange stopped and offered the woman a ride, which she accepted without saying a word. She opened the rear passenger side door and got into the back seat. LaGrange asked the stranger where she was going, but there was no response. As they were driving, he had commented that it was rather dangerous for a young woman to be hitchhiking alone at that time of night. Again, there was silence. Finally, LaGrange then turned and looked into the back seat, and the hitchhiker was gone, and LaGrange was scared and confused. He had seen the woman get into the car. He could even describe her, and now she had vanished. LaGrange thought that perhaps the woman had fallen out of the car at some point and went to the closest police station in Uniondale to report the incident. Once at the police station, LaGrange began to tell the desk sergeant of the strange occurrence that he had just experienced. No doubt, LaGrange's tale of the vanishing hitchhiker was met with considerable doubt. The possibility remained, however, that a young woman could be lying injured or dead along the N9, and with that possibility in mind, the officer agreed to follow LaGrange back to the area of the strange encounter. The officer followed close behind as LaGrange approached the area of the occurrence. To the officer's amazement, he witnessed LaGrange's rear door open and close as LaGrange's car passed the location where he had picked up the Phantom Hitchhiker. Thinking that LaGrange might be trying to pull off a hoax, the officer agreed to follow him past the location one more time. This time, LaGrange would drive with the interior car lights on, and all the doors would be locked. Yet, despite the precautions, the officer again saw the rear passenger side door open and close as the two passed the same area, and this time the officer heard the sound of a woman laughing as the door was opened by the Phantom Hitchhiker. The baffled police officer soon contacted fellow Uniondale officer Sergeant Pat McDonald. McDonald had been the first officer to arrive on the scene of the Maria Roux crash. McDonald met LaGrange and handed him a stack of photos. The pictures were all of young women and looked much alike. Despite the similarities of the images, LaGrange was quickly able to pick out the picture of the Phantom Hitchhiker, Marie Roux. The next report of the Phantom Hitchhiker came in 1978. Dai van Jaarsveld was riding his motorcycle on the N9, heading towards Uniondale to visit his girlfriend for Easter. As he rode, he spotted a female hitchhiker ahead and stopped to offer her a ride. She said nothing, but got onto the back of the bike, and Van Jarsveld sped off with the hitchhiker hanging on to him tightly. Van Jarsveld claims that he was suddenly overcome with a feeling of strangeness, and at just that moment he experienced what he called a twitch, and the phantom hitchhiker, which matched the description of Maria Roux, had vanished. According to the Uniondale journalist Janie Mayer, who has followed the Marie Roux story for more than 30 years. One of the theories of why she apparently can't rest is that she was fast asleep in the car when the accident happened and she didn't prepare herself for death. She wanted to finalize her wedding arrangements, and the theory is that she will carry on until she reaches her destination. So, if you are ever driving towards Uniondale on the N9 and see a female hitchhiker, you might want to keep driving.